This is your Fox 47 News Flash.
Welcome to your Fox 47 News Flash from the Digital Newsroom. I'm Chris Lewis, and these are the top stories that we're following. A 28-year-old Lowell man was hospitalized after he was shot by his brother while the two were hunting in Ionia County. WZZM reports that around 5:30 p.m. on Saturday, police responded to a field near Bell Road and West Grand River Avenue in Boston Township on a report of a man who was shot while hunting. Police said that by all accounts, this was an accidental shooting. The two brothers were looking for a deer that one brother had shot earlier with his rifle. During the search for the deer, the men became separated in a dense cornfield. One brother, a 29-year-old Saranac man, thought he saw and heard the deer in the field. He fired, but the gunfire hit his brother. The 29-year-old immediately called 911, police said, and the two men walked out of the field where they were met by first responders. Police said because of the severity of the injury, the victim was flown to Spectrum Butterworth Hospital by Aeromed. He's in serious but stable condition. Court clerks around Michigan are criticizing a proposal to allow phones and other electronic devices in courthouses. Among their objections, they fear they'll lose money. The Michigan Supreme Court is holding a public hearing on Wednesday in Lansing. Courts typically charge people to make copies of public documents. Someone with an electronic device could do it for free. For example, Mason County charges $1 per page. Clerk Cheryl Kelly says that the proposed rule would put a dent in our revenue. Besides copying documents, the rule would allow people to use an electronic device to take notes, search the internet, and send or receive text messages in a courtroom. Lawyers, who typically can carry cell phones, are in favor of the change, especially if it helps them stay in touch with clients in a courthouse. A woman was killed and one person was taken to the hospital in a crash in East Lansing on Saturday. The crash happened on Coolidge Road, north of Coleman Road, around 4 p.m. on Saturday, November 16th. Katie Jo Vera, a 30-year-old Lansing woman, was pronounced dead at the scene. She died as a result of injuries sustained in the crash. The driver of the other vehicle involved in the crash was taken to the hospital due to significant injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. And the East Lansing Police Department was assisted in responding to the crash by the East Lansing Fire Department and the Ingham County Crash Investigation Team. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson announced that her administration is revising the policy for changing the sex indicator on a driver's license or identification card to make it easier for transgender people to obtain identification. According to a press release, nearly 81% of transgender population in Michigan lacks proper identification. One of my goals is to reduce barriers for marginalized communities to participate fully in our society. The transgender community has faced both marginalization and violence without proper identification, said Benson in a news release. This change returns to a policy that was in place before the issue was politicized, and that was utilized by both a Republican and a Democrat Secretary of State. Effective Monday, those who would like to correct the sex designation on their ID or license will need to fill out a form and go to the branch office to have their photo taken and pay the $9 correction fee for a license and $10 for a state ID. A birth certificate, passport, or court order will no longer be needed. Learn more about all of these and all Mid-Michigan's breaking news on fox47news.com.